Hey guys, what is up? It is Emilus, and today I am playing some more Forza Motorsport 6. Now today we're going to be doing the holy trinity of muscle cars. So today we've got the Challenger Hellcat, the Z28 Camaro, and the new Shelby GT350R. So basically what we're going to be doing is putting these three cars head to head against each other and finding out which one is the best. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so the first car that we are actually going to be testing out for sound is the Hellcat. Alright, it doesn't sound too bad. Now next we're going to be moving on to the Camaro, so I will see you guys when we are in that. Alright guys, so we went ahead, jumped into the Camaro. Now let's get a listen to this thing. Alright, doesn't sound too bad. Now in my opinion the Hellcat did sound a little better, but next we are going to move on to the Shelby GT350R. Alright guys, so jumping into the Shelby GT350R, we're going to go ahead and start this puppy up and see what it's got. Alright, so in my personal opinion, I believe that the Hellcat honestly sounds the best. It's just so deep. It's got that growl of an American muscle car that I love. Now this obviously has the most crackles out of the three cars, but I'm gonna have to go with the Hellcat. So next we're gonna go ahead and jump onto the track, and I will see you guys once. Alright guys, so we are in the Hellcat. Now we are going to be driving on the west route of Road America. Now we're going to go ahead and jump straight off the line so that we can get the best time without any sort of, penalty. And yeah, so obviously these cars are bone dry stock. There's nothing done with them, no tune or anything. And basically what this is we've got one lap and we have to see how fast we can go around this course and keep track of it, and basically we're going to compare the three, see which one is fastest around the track, the drag times, all sorts of stuff. But this Hellcat has crazy amounts of body roll, but once you get on it, the power just lays down. There's no wheel spin because I have traction control on, yeah. So I haven't had any practice with these cars at all. I actually just picked the track off the top of my head. I obviously wanted it to be an American track with a straighter too. Now, we didn't pick the main Road of America, which has the super long track. Hey, there's a Corvette up there. Yeah. So, honestly, the next thing we are going to be doing is the drag race. And I think that the Hellcat is going to win just because 707 horsepower. And it's a demon. This thing flies. It just hauls. It is ridiculous. But we are coming around. Oh gosh, that was a really bad corner. Oh, that's definitely going to take some time off the Hellcat. I wasn't even paying attention, so that was somewhat my fault. But that'll be okay. Coming around this last corner. She is just rolling like crazy. That's all it wants to do. Alright, let's see the time. Redlining it right there. And the time was 1 minute and 48 seconds. Whoop, there's a wall. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the Camaro, and I will see you guys once we're back on the track. Alright, so we just got onto the track with the Z28. Now, this, in my opinion, is my favorite out of the bunch, just overall. I am a big Chevy fan. I do not like Fords, but the Shelby is not bad at all. I just think that Camaros are better, in my opinion, than Mustangs. And if you guys, everybody always complains about the Camaros, how they don't sound as good as the Mustangs. But honestly, the Camaro has one cam, and a Mustang has four. And if you guys don't know what that is, I don't know the specifics, but it's basically what gives the car the growl. And that's one of the main reasons why the Mustang sounds better stock than the Camaro. But yeah. So right off the bat, this is definitely doing a lot better than the Hellcat. It doesn't have as much body roll, and these brakes are just crazy. They are amazing. The Hellcat's brakes would lock up just because it's so heavy, But this car just, the brakes are absolutely amazing. It's like crazy. I don't have to brake too much. I'm not, locking up my wheels or anything. And it's just 10 times better than the Hellcat in general. But yeah, so hopefully we can get past the finish line in 1 minute and 48 seconds sometime before that, so that we can beat the Hellcat. Now, I messed up on that corner right there in the Hellcat, so it kind of gave it a little bit of a penalty, but body roll. So 1 minute and 40 seconds is what I'm gonna aim for. Oh, can we do it? 1 minute and 41 seconds. So we did it in the Hellcat in 1 minute and 48. Now we're gonna go ahead and jump into the Shelby, and I will see you guys once we are in that. Alright guys, so jumping into the Shelby now, this thing looked like it took off the line the fastest out of the three. It's definitely not as fast around the corners as the Z28, but it's pretty close. This thing just powers out of the corners like crazy. Now this thing on the track only sounds better than the Hellcat whenever you downshift. I'll show you guys up here in a second. You can just hear the crackles. Listen. Oh my gosh, the brakes in my opinion are nowhere near as good as the Camaros. I had to kind of lock them up to slow this thing down. Oh my gosh, this downshifts just sound amazing. The crackling of this motor is just, listen. You can hear it even when oh my gosh, it's just amazing. Alright, now, most of you guys are probably going to hate me down in the comment section because I like Chevys more than Ford, but it's just a personal preference. My dad's like Chevys, so that's basically what I grew up with, and that's one of the main reasons why I do like them. Getting in the grass a little bit, this thing is definitely quicker than the Camaro though. It's definitely going to get it under the 1 minute and 40 seconds that the Camaro did. 1 minute and 41 seconds actually. We are coming up at 130 around the big long turn. Alright, here we go. Trying to contain myself, keep this thing on the track. I don't know. 1 minute and 41.9, I believe is what it was. So the Camaro is faster than the Shelby. Anyways, guys, next we're going to go ahead and jump on to the drag track and see what kind of time. Alright guys, so we are on the track in the Hellcat. Let's see what we can do. Now this is going to be the first part of the drag races. I'm actually going to do a quarter-mile drag and a full-mile drag, just so that we can get two different sort of comparisons to compare it to each other. So the Hellcat came in at 11.244 seconds, not bad at all, very fast. But we're going to go ahead and jump into the Camaro, and I will see you whenever we are back on the strip. Alright, so we're in the Camaro now. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with this thing. Alright, so not too good of a launch. It starts out way down in the lower RPM range, but once you get up there, you get going. Now, the Camaro came in at 12.463. The Hellcat did beat it, but we're going to go ahead and jump into the Shelby, and I will be back with you guys as soon as we are on the strip. Alright, so we are in the Shelby on the track. Let's see what kind of time we can get in this thing. This is definitely the fastest of the three starting off the line, for sure. It just jumps off and takes off. Now, I don't even know if the Hellcat... Oh, okay. So, this did not beat the Hellcat at all. It came in at 11.8. The Hellcat came in at 11.2. So, the Hellcat won in the quarter mile. We're going to go ahead and jump in onto the mile track. Alright, so we are back in the Hellcat. Now, this thing did run an 11-second quarter mile. So it's time to see what this thing does in the mile. So one thing I am looking out for as well is the top speed of these cars. Now right now we're hitting 140 in this Hellcat like it's nothing. We're 5th gear, almost halfway done with this drag strip at 20 seconds. So hopefully I'm still rooting for the Hellcat in the drag race, just because it's basically what this thing was built for. Now we got 27.862. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead, jump into the Camaro, and I will see you guys once we are in that. Alright, so we are in the Camaro on the mile drag. Let's go ahead and see what kind of speeds we can get up to into this thing. Now on the Hellcat, I believe I saw 175. I probably hit higher, but that's not a category on the list, so it really doesn't matter. Now this Camaro, once you start getting above third gear into fourth gear, the gears are kind of long. They're a lot slower, and the Camaro kind of sounds like its RPMs definitely need to be higher whenever you shift. It's not how you want it. But the Camaro did come in at 30.9, so the Hellcat beat it by a whole 3 seconds. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the Shelby and see what that thing can do. Alright, so on the track in the Shelby, I think this thing might beat the Hellcat in the mile, just because it gets up faster. Even though it doesn't perform as well as the Hellcat in the straights, I think it possibly could tie it with the Hellcat in some way. So we're 50% of the way done at 21 seconds. I don't know. Will it beat the Hellcat or will it not? 27 seconds. It unfortunately did not beat the Hellcat. 29.7 seconds. The Hellcat had 27.8 seconds. So the Hellcat wins. It is a drag monster. Next, we're gonna go ahead and do burnouts requested by Not So Anonymous. He just wanted to see this, so I decided to throw it into the video. Alright guys, so we are on the track now. We are going to be doing burnouts. Now, I don't really have a way to judge this. I'm actually going to let you guys judge it down in the comment section. But honestly, this is just for fun. So we're going to start this out in the Hellcat. Now, this thing is the burnout king. It's going to lay some mad strips. Alright, let's go. Alright, first gear, shifting into second, I'm still spinning. Alright, and then I hooked up in second. So let's go back and see how far my 11s went. Okay, so I'm just going to count from the lines at the pole where the light is. It is 2 lines over. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the Camaro and see how far those lines stretch. Alright guys, so jumping into the Camaro, now this thing has some pretty grippy tires, so I'm not too sure what it's going to be able to do. But let's go ahead and see what this thing does. Alright, so all the way through first gear, and then as soon as I shifted, it hooked up immediately. So I don't know how, actually, there's no reason why it shouldn't have done that. It did what it was supposed to do. That's too much to count. So let's move on to the Shelby. Alright, so we are now in the Shelby. I don't know what to expect from this, but I'm just going to pull this thing off the line. Alright, so first gear all the way through, it was spinning until we had to, shift. So this obviously beat the Camaro. It has a longer first gear, but the Hellcat still won. So the Hellcat is the best burnout drag, but it is the worst in track time. But next, we're going to go ahead and move on to street cred. Now, last but not least, our last category is looks / street cred. So in my opinion, looks has to go to the Shelby GT350R. Now, it's not street legal, so you can't see it on the street unless they are driving it illegally. But it just looks the best in my opinion, and I feel like it has the most street cred. It's amazing what it is. So street cred and looks have to go to the Shelby GT350R. So that's going to end today's video, guys. If you did enjoy, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys did enjoy this. I enjoyed making the video. Let me know if you guys want to see one on the P1, the LaFerrari, and the 918, or something similar to this, like the Viper versus the Corvette versus the Ford GT. But anyways, guys, like I said, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Peace.